तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 सेवेंथ मंत्र नान्तप्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानगनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यमग्राह्यमलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यमवप्यपदेशम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवमद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. Vashakara said on page 52, कथं पुनः अंतःप्रज्ञत्वादीनां आत्मनि गम्यमानानां रज्ज्वादौ सर्पादिवत् प्रतिषेधात् असत्त्वं गम्यते इति उच्यते. ज्ञस्वरूप अविशेषे अपि इतरेतर व्यभिचारात् रज्ज्वादौ इव सर्पधारादि विकल्पित भेदवत् सर्वत्र अव्यभिचारात् ज्ञस्वरूपस्य सत्यत्वं सुषुप्ते व्यभिचरति इति चेत् न सुषुप्तस्य अनुभूयमानत्वात् न हि विज्ञातुः विज्ञातेः विपरिलोपो विद्यते इति श्रुतेः. So ज्ञस्वरूप अविशेषेपि, the consciousness being common in all the experiences, therefore well, I am not the waker, dreamer, etc., and that consciousness, so all these are experienced objects of experience. The very knower, waker, etc., also are experienced, and the objects also are experienced. In fact, they are known for the sakshi. All are known. I know I am a knower now. I know this is object of knowledge. I know there is a thought of an object. Thought of object is there. That is also known to you. So therefore, all jnata, gneyam, and jnanam, all are known to you. So they are all experienced by you. And that experiencer, I, the witness consciousness, is never experienced. Even Sushupte, Bhashakara says, Sushupte Vyabhicharati. In Sushupti, well, the consciousness goes away, iti chet na. Sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvat. In Sushupti, all objects are absent, the very knower is absent, etc., also is known to you, is experienced by you. And that is experienced by you, the witness consciousness. And therefore, Sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvat, well, there is no vyabhichara at all. That in waking and dream, well, I am a consciousness, but in deep sleep state I am not. That's not correct. So this is how it has been said. And so I am unexperienced experiencer, etc., unobjectified subject. And therefore Atma is ever a unchanging sakshi, unchanging consciousness, present in all experiences, present in a waker, present in the waking world, that will be seen, waking objects, and present even in the thoughts of the waking objects, and like that in a dream. And when they become absent, Well, because the whole mind is absent, and then that also is known by me. So I am a non-changing witness consciousness. I'm simply a witness. Witness will be always a non-changing. That's how consciousness is called non-changing, unchanging, because there is it is witness of even both the things. I mean, it is a witness of the presence of this triad or absence of the triad. And Atma is never experienced, then therefore it's a matter of belief. That also is not correct. That we saw, like heaven, etc., is never experienced, and therefore it's a matter of belief. Same way, Atma is never experienced, therefore it's also a matter of belief. Well, that's not correct. My existence is self-proven. Even all the beliefs exist, right? In whatever the beliefs are there in my mind, even they also exist in my presence. They shine in my presence. In fact, they exist in consciousness. Their existence is proven by me. So therefore, there is no question of believing yourself. You are self-proven. You need not have to. You need not have been to be proved by somebody else. And okay, but then if anything which is never experienced, then it can be shunyam also. Well, that's also not correct. Any experience involves two things, of course. One is experiencer, and the other is experienced, object of experience. And if there is experience of course, nothingness, total absence, well, there are also two things are required. One thing is that object of experience, which is nothingness, right, shunyam, and the other is the very experiencer. And by law, the experiencer is different from the experienced, and therefore experiencer of a nothing is different from the nothing. An experience of nothing, if it is different from nothing, means it must be something, right? And therefore there can, so abhava can never be proven, because it's a very very strong opponent is a shunyavadi. And well, that is not correct. So nothing can be witnessed by nothing, cannot be witnessed by nothing. Nothing has to be witnessed by something. So therefore, total absence also is not possible. Therefore, sushuptepi anubhuyamanatva. I am very much present. That's how even in Mandukya we'll be seeing prapanchopashamam. So all that is there. So prapanchopashamam is nothing is there. So Atma is a prapanchopashamam. When all the prapancha gets resolved, what obtains is this Brahman or consciousness, that is Sakshi. Now, basically, there is a Purupaksha, and especially the other philosophers. They say, and so that he says that ahankara, or the I sense, or individuality, etc., you should not take it as an anatma. This Vishwa Taijasa Prajna, you should not take it as anatma, because the very I refers to I myself, and that is the ultimate subject. So Sureshwaracharya ji does this Viveka in one of the texts. So he says, well, you just can't, he while giving an answer, he says, you just can't go by the worldly experience. You say in a common parlance, everybody refers I as an individual, and therefore that is reality. And even if you say Atma is consciousness, well, we should take that I as the very, very attribute, intrinsic attribute of the Atma. You say, Shastra says that that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Correct. So, well, even though if I am a Brahman, limitless consciousness, but I am Brahman, it is said. Therefore, the I, the Ahankara, right, is an attribute, intrinsic attribute of the Atma, the Brahman. Well, and he proves it also, that in Aham Brahmasmi there is a Samanadhikaranyam between Aham and Brahman. I am Brahman, right? So there is a opposition. And there are four types of Samanadhikaranyam are there. One is a Upasanayam Samanadhikaranyam, well, deliberate superimposition of for Upasana we do. So like, the Shastra says, Purushova Agnihi. Basically, the man is fire. So there cannot be here aikyam, identity between, if like a man and the fire. Man is man and fire is fire, right? And therefore, that's not correct. So Upanishad says, well, may you meditate upon man as a fire principle. This is a part of, this comes, Purushova Agni, he comes in a Panchagni Vidya. Very famous Upasana. Vidya means Upasana here. Panchagni Upasana, fivefold fires are there and one has to meditate upon that. In the creation there are fivefold fire, etc. And the first fire is basically they call heaven, and then there is a rain, and like that. On the earth is a fire, and then human being is a fire, man is a fire, and the human, and then the woman is a fire, and that's how the creation happens and all that. But anyway, so that this Panchagni Vidya comes in a Chandogya Upanishad, in a Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in Anubhuti Prakasha, it comes even in a Brahma Sutra also. And there this kind of Samanadhikaranam has been said, this man is fire. And there is no identity, of course. There is a, for Upasana's sake, well, you have to superimpose, you have to look upon this man as a one of the fire principle. So that is one kind of a Samanadhikaranam. Then the second one is a Badhayam Samanadhikaranam, where the two words are used, one negating the other. So you have mistaken, well, a man for a pillar, right? You have mistaken a man for a pillar. So somebody says pillar is nothing but the man. Here pillar and man, well, they are used in Samanadhikaranam. The man knowledge negating the pillar notion. So this kind of Samanadhikaranam is called Badhayam, means negation Samanadhikaranam, where you use two words, but basically one is used to negate the other, right? So here it is a different type of Samanadhikaranam, Badhayam. Third is a Aikya Samanadhikaranam. That's we call it as a Mukhya Samanadhikaranam. And this is the main info. Mukhya means this Samanadhikaranam is very much prevalent, and this is widely used in a Vedanta, including Aham Brahmasmi, where Aham and I are equated. They are identical. So this is even Soyam Devadatta, etc. That is this Devadatta. That Devadatta is equated with this. Aikya means identity. That Devadatta is this Devadatta, etc. Even Tattvamasi, etc. and similar Vakyas, Mahavakyas will come under this Aikya Samanadhikaranam. That's how we call main, Mukhya Samanadhikaranam. And the fourth one, Visheshana Visheshya Bhave Samanadhikaranam. So like blue lotus, Neelam Utpalam, right? So blue and lotus are not one and the same. There is no identity here. Just we saw Aikya Samanadhikaranam, but this is Visheshana Visheshya. So between Visheshana and Visheshya, between attribute and substance, there is no Aikya. One is attribute, other is a substance. So, but there is a Samanadhikaranam. And now Aham Jan Brahmasmi also, we are answering him. He says Aham Brahmasmi. Aham is widely used. Without exception, Aham is used for the individual, Ahankara, like a waker right now. And that is equated with the Brahman. Therefore, the Ahankara, the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, what you say, basically that is an intrinsic attribute of the Atma. And therefore, you should not negate them. You should not falsify them. That's what Purupakshi said. And we say, look at this Aham Brahmasmi, which is a Samanadhikaranam. It is generally a Aikya Samanadhikaranam, but Sureshwaracharya ji takes it as a, Purupakshi takes it as a Visheshana Visheshya. Ahankara is a attribute, intrinsic attribute of the Atma. Atma is like a substance, but Ahankara is an intrinsic attribute. And Acharya categorizes it here. Generally Aikya you can take, but here he takes it as a Badhayam, means negation Samanadhikaranam. He says Aham means it's Vachyartha, is a direct meaning of the word Aham, of course is Ahankara. Popular meaning, direct meaning. Anybody when he uses the word I, definitely indicates either a waker, dreamer. Of course in deep sleep we don't say, but there is I which is connected to the deep sleep. Anyway, so that should not be taken. In fact, that is mithya. Exactly like that, this basically, we have seen that. So, I am sthanahu purushaha, etc. So well, basically one is a mistake, and therefore since one has mistaken a man for a pillar, well, you have to use this samanadikaran, and you have to tell that this pillar is nothing but the man, etc. So so basically, so here aham brahmasmi also is like that. You say aham means a individual, but literally, really speaking, that aham, is meaning is Brahman. That's a ahankara is mithya, and the man knowledge negating this pillar notion. Pillar is a notion, that this is pillar is a notion, mithya. What is there is just a man. For so that kind of a samanandikaranam is here, and therefore ahankara is basically mithya and Brahman is satyam. Mithya ahankara is negated, like sthanu bhranti, etc., pillar notion, etc. Same way, the individuality is basically superimposed, like on the man. The pillar is superimposed upon the man. Either way also is there. Therefore, I'm a little get confused. Mostly, we generally, even though it is a pillar, we take it as a man in a forest, etc. But either way, you can take the man knowledge negate the pillar notion. Pillar is a superposition upon man. Suppose ulta, no problem. But same way here. So individuality is basically a dhyasa superimposed upon Atma, that is Brahman. And so through this Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi, the individuality notion is negated, and what is left is just a consciousness, witness consciousness, which has no dimension, which is free from the time, place, and individuality, etc. Time, place, and attributes, and that is limitless, undivided consciousness, and that is the meaning of aham brahmasmi. Not that aham means ahankara only, and that is a intrinsic attribute of the Brahman in this in this vakya, not mahavakya for them. For the vakya aham brahmasmi, aham is the intrinsic attribute of Brahman. Well, that's not correct. And once this ahankara comes, then definitely mamakara also comes. Ahankara means the first person, I. Right? It is first person. In Sanskrit we used to learn first person, second person, third person, right? So basically, I indicating first person, and then second person and third person comes, which we call as a mamakara, right? A particular second person means a you, then a mamakara will be there, or even a third person. Certain things for which you have a mamakara also. Anyway, and so when ahankara is born, the mamakara also is born. When the first person is born, second and third person also will be born. In a sushupti avastha, when ahankara resolves, the very I notion resolves, a first person, which we indicate by the word I, resolves in a deep sleep state, while mamakara also resolves. But the witness consciousness continue. Ahankara is, in a Saddarshanam, Ramana Maharshi called ahankara as a karanam, and the mamakara as a karyam. Without ahankara, mamakara cannot remain. So ahankara resolves, mamakara also resolves. And then further argument, of course, is there. If ahankara is a intrinsic attribute, as you say, at all times, ahankara is associated with the Atma, then, well, that will remain even in the moksha. Then ahankara continues, then kartrutva, bhoktrutva continues. The very sense of limitation also continues. Then definite, because it's an intrinsic attribute, you say, then that will continue. When you say I am Brahman, well, then the ahankara still continues. It's an intrinsic, you cannot remove it. Then kartrutva, bhoktrutva, sense of limitations and everything, the samsara continue. Then where is moksha? By knowing aham brahmasmi, where is moksha? So ahankara is basically belongs to antakarana. Antakarana is basically illumined, proves its existence in Atma. In fact, it is just a reflection of Atma, nothing else. The very aham vritti is known with the Chidabhasa, known in the presence of Sakshi. And therefore, it is mithya, it is not real. It's ahankar dharma belongs to antakarana, not that the dharma or attribute is a intrinsic attribute of the Atma. And Vishishtadvaitin says, even Dvaitin also, that what you say, it doesn't look logical or practical. we have to have a to retain, we have to have a individuality even to enjoy the state of moksha. And therefore, if individuality goes away, well, such moksha is also, well, not attractive. Because you do all this, you gain sadhan chatushtaya and do karma yoga, and you do upasana, gain a certain chitta shuddhi, and chitta naishalyam, vikshepa also goes away, upasana and all that you do throughout the life. You do so much of the spiritual practices, and definitely then you look for the result, freedom, and for me to enjoy moksha phalam. But you say you are not even an enjoyer, bhokta also, because you are not an ahankara. Then in that case, who enjoys this phalam? Therefore, I sense should be there. If it won't be there, why should I work for moksha at all? Moksha is there, but no one is there to enjoy that freedom. Then that is not correct. You say ahankara is destroyed, Vishwa Tejas Prajna are all gone, and in moksha they are not there. What is there is just non-dual Atma. And so if ahankara is destroyed in this your Advaita moksha, then working for Advaita moksha is not desirable at all. Look at our moksha. We retain the ahankara. That's how moksha is to reach to the place of a Narayana, Vaikuntha. And you retain. Still you enjoy the freedom. Because the individual only goes to Vaikuntha. Right? Individual only goes to. And then Sayujya, Salokya, Sarupya, all this in the same loka where Bhagavan also is. You also dwell on those in those gardens. You are enjoy. Then so enjoy should be there. Bhoktrutam should be there. Individual should be there. Ahankara should be there. Therefore, so this Param Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, that Brahman is basically a Narayana, and you are a part of it. You are Amsha. You will remain. You will remain. Amsha remains Amsha, Amshi remains Amshi, Amshi cannot be Amsha, Amsha cannot be Amshi. So, but you are non-separate. And therefore that is a non-duality. But you cannot say, I am Param Brahma, I am Narayana. That's not correct. And depending upon the spiritual practices, etc., which they describe, well, in the loka also, Vaikuntha also, you will have a proximity to the Lord. So Salokya is there, then Sayujya, Sarupya, Samipya, then Sarupya, then Salokya, Sarupya, Sayujya. Sayujya means you become a part of the Bhagavan's body itself. So that you gain a rupa of the Narayana, like Parshads of Narayana, so you also look like Lord Narayana. Also, these varying things are there, but you enjoy. The fact that you go to Vaikuntha and being in a place of a Lord, you enjoy it. That is mukti. So ahankara is, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham should be taken as an intrinsic attribute. The Amsha can never be separate from Brahman the Narayana. Anyway, so that is moksha, not your moksha. Well, Advaiti says, well, at the time of moksha, well, the destruction of ahankara means the falsification of ahankara. You don't think that where it gets destroyed. The real I, of course, you understand, that is aham padartha lakshyartha, that is there. Ahankara will continue, and I understand that I am free from ahankara and samsara problems, free from kartrutva bhoktruta, free from sense of limitation. And that sense of limitation, well, has brought ultimately the duality also, because I am this and everything is different. And therefore, sense of insignificance and even fear of duality. Naturally, it will be there. All this will go away because you understand that is apparent. Not that they are totally destroyed. They are as good as not there, being mithya. So definitely with that mithya ahankara, you definitely enjoy understanding your real nature, sakshi, turiya, as free self. So that apparent bhokta is there, and therefore he enjoys that freedom. That's how Jivan Mukti is there. So eternally enjoying freedom from samsara. So that's how they don't accept this Jivan Mukti. They don't accept. Because Jivan Mukti means the individual is still there, who is an enjoyer, experiencer of the freedom. So then he says ahankara is there, and therefore how can you enjoy it? So, well, when ahankara goes away and you go to, means, well, here once the prarabdha is over, that definitely you gain that ahankara, that jiva who has done certain spiritual practices will go to Vaikuntha, etc. And there you will eternally be there, enjoying all the time the company of a Lord. That is mukti. And this is how has been said. Then we replied that ahankara is as good as gone. Not that it has gone. It's a Ishvara Srishti. It won't go away like that. So a general identification with the body is there for the exhaustion of prarabdha. That is there, but he understands it is apparent. Badhit ahankara is there, and he knows now that what is unchanging in all the three states, in all the ahankaras, what is unchanging, what is immanent, in fact, pervades totally pervades, is myself, which is free from time, free from a place, free from all attributes. Attributes, time, place, all belong to the various states and various ahankara, the waker, dreamer, etc. But I am free from that. So I am basically a immortal, timeless self. That way he enjoys the freedom, understanding himself as free from all these limitations of time, place, and attributes. So then he said, okay, I am convinced. Let's say they don't get convinced, but let's say. Then he brought out something else. He said, this samsari atma, the atma which is not, which is ignorant. I mean, the one who is ignorant, that samsari, is like a raw mango. And with the ahankara dharma, naturally, it's a samsari, you said, that means ahankara is there. So ahankara dharma is present. When the person is ignorant, well, ahankara is present as an intrinsic property of the Brahman, but he doesn't know. And in a mokshavastha is like a ripe mango, so which drops this ahankara dharma and mamakara dharma, and thereby samsara goes away. So he says, so samsari atma is like a raw mango with ahankara dharma as intrinsic property. In a mokshavastha, ahankara is still present, but it's like a ripe mango. And ahankara dharma is not present in a mokshavastha. In a mokshavastha, ahankara, definitely mamkara also will go away, and therefore samsara goes away. And we said that ahankara will be present in a mokshavastha, then it definitely, how will he have a mukti? Because ahankara means samsara, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, karmas and everything, sense of limitations and all. So he says, well, let us accept ahankara is intrinsically present when the person is ignorant. Because you said ahankara is born of ignorance. So ahankara is an intrinsic attribute of the atma at that time. But in a moksha avastha, ahankara, mamakara and the samsara drops out. And therefore, what remains is only atma. So this is what he says. And he gave example of a raw mango and a ripe mango. So in a ripe mango, you don't see any attributes of the raw mango. Right? So whatever the attributes are there in Ajnani, samsari atma, well, the ahankara and the other attributes of ahankara, kartrutva, bhoktrutva and all sense of insignificance and everything, well, they are there intrinsically in atma. But in a like in a raw mango, all the attributes are there intrinsic. There is a green color. It has a particular sour smell, mango, and it is very solid, etc., etc. And the taste wise also, taste also is a sour, very much sour. So all these properties are there intrinsically in a raw mango. It's not incidental. But when the mango becomes ripe, they all go away. This one color has become yellow, the sour taste has gone, become sweet, and then there is so much kaఠిన్యం, solid, but that has become quite soft. It was hard, and all these things, even the fragrance also, good fragrance in a ripe mango. That fragrance of a raw mango is not there. So all attributes which are there in a raw mango, they all get dropped. All the attributes which were there as an intrinsic property of a raw mango, they all have gone when the mango has become ripe. Same way, this Ajnani Atma, Samsari Atma, well, basically is like a raw mango. It has all this kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, sense of insignificance, and he has all karmas also, and prarabdha and all that, everything, and the bhayam and everything, shoka, etc., everything is there. But when it becomes ripe by gaining knowledge, samsari atma becomes asamsari. All this intrinsic attribute called kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam of ahankara, well, they go away. So, and there is another example also for that. Not only mango, even the body. What are intrinsic attributes of a child body, right, will go away. When you become ripe, when you become mature physically, they all go away. And they are intrinsic. Can you separate? If they are, you say incidental. Incidental means they are there or they are not there. Kya baat hai? Child body means certain child body's attributes will be there. The voice also will be of different type. The body also will be of different type. The color complexion, this, that, the looks also of the child. From the look itself, you can say he's a 10-year-old child, 5-year-old child, 3-year-old child. You are able to say. So there are intrinsic properties. It's not that they are incidental. Child remains, but the property goes away. Incidental. It has come, it has gone. No. Child body means these attributes will be there. And when they physically become mature, right, then they all go away. And the very innocence, etc. You can take many attributes. Well, Bhashyakara says here, Nahi drashtuhu drashtehe viparilopo vidyate. Atma is not the mango has, by nature, it is changing. The very substance changes. Therefore, the attributes of the substance also change. The common rule is when intrinsic attribute of the substance change, then the very substance also has undergone a change. If any attribute, intrinsic attribute of the substance changes, different, then definitely the substance has undergone a change. Yeah. Therefore, the raw mango is quite different than the ripe mango. The very substance has undergone change, which is not possible here. Nahi drashtuhu drashtehe viparilopo vidyate avinashitvat. The consciousness of this witness, Atma, is never lost. At any time, even in a sushupti, sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvat, even in a videha mukti, even in a samadhi, even in a state of ajnanam, consciousness is something which never changes. That is Atma. Not that the consciousness is a property of the Atma. It's not. Consciousness is not a property of the Atma. Consciousness is the self, is the witness. So, body, of course, undergoes a change. We know. Our body becomes conscious and body becomes unconscious also. Body becomes inert also in a deep, or nearly inert in a deep sleep state. Or let's say when person dies, it really becomes insentient. Therefore, anything which is changing, you say property has changed now. Sentiency was there as a property in the body. Well, and now sentiency is not there. Insentiency is there. Dead body. Well, the body has undergone change. Could you understand that? The substance undergoes a change. And therefore, even we have seen this. A person is having some viral fever. You're getting affected, that person, individual is getting affected by viral fever. Even after, you will see that even after fever is gone now, okay, certain attributes of the fever, the certain characteristic of the fever, a high temperature, this, that, etc., goes away. You will find that person still is changed compared to when he was healthy. He is now very weak, listless, etc. So, when dharma undergoes a change, dharma, which you consider as an intrinsic, dharmi will also undergoes a change. If dharma perishes, attribute perishes, that particular substance which was holding that attribute also has perished. Raw mango is gone totally. Yeah. And therefore, a very important law. Any, Sureshwaracharya says, any intrinsic attribute, well, but we cannot call intrinsic, but let's call any intrinsic attribute arriving, departing, will bring about a change in the substance upon which it comes and goes. You can say intrinsic. So far as raw mango is concerned, they are intrinsic, that's fine. And now, well, in a ripe mango, well, they are not there, means the substance itself has undergone a change, and therefore they are having a certain new intrinsic attributes. So new intrinsic attributes, definitely a change, definitely means a substance also has gone. So here the ahankara is subject to change. Vishwataijasa prajna, or whatever we are seeing, well, they are subject to change, is proved by whom? It's my own experience. And therefore, that one who proves the change in the ahankara, right? That I am a hearer now, and then I was this, and I am this now, etc., etc. Or I was a deep sleeper and now I am awake. Or I dreamt and that I alone is awake. All this. So changes in ahankara definitely is proven by, it is our own experience that they are changing, and that is proven by the sakshi, and that sakshi must be without change, who proves this changes in ahankara. So sakshi is not subject to change, and that is also our own experience, that I am consciousness not undergoing any change. It's my own experience. And therefore, basically, the changeless nature of I, the witness consciousness, is eternal, self-evident, and that is proven. And now we supply something, a very solid argument. See, a little subtle topic, but as such, it has been used so many times. And we also discussed several times while doing a viveka between ahankara or waker, dreamer, etc., and turiya, the sakshi. So when the word I is used, look at that. When the word I is used, you refer sometime by the same word I, ahankara, and some other times you refer I as a sakshi. By the word I, you refer to the changing ahankara. By the same word I, you are referring a changeless consciousness, sakshi, witness. So it has to be carefully discerned. You are using it, you don't know. That's called ignorance. Even though you use the word I, but you don't know that I am using word I right now and referring to the changeless sakshi that is itself is not known. That is called self-ignorance. And therefore, basically it has to be carefully discerned when I, the ahankara is evident, or when the I, the sakshi is evident. How? Look at that. Suppose by the word I am referring the present I. Okay? Experienced I. I will call in Sanskritam as a anubhuyamanaha aham. And that is, let's say right now, at this moment, I am a Shrota, right? You will say I am a hearer, I will say I am a speaker. Right? This I at this moment. Is it ahankara? That I refers to ahankara or refers to sakshi? No. You are very much aware that I am a hearer at this moment, and well, definitely with that I, the time is involved. At this time I am here, right? So time is involved, places are also involved. You are very much aware that you are sitting in your place, whatever, and you are a hearer. So the hearing attributes, etc., are there. So that I, which is referred by along with, let's say, along with a time, place, and certain attributes, is ahankara. You are using word I. You say right now. Suppose you say in this, the work class is going on. You say I am hearer right now, Swami. Definitely that I. Well, and I am saying anubhuyamana because you know very well that you are hearer now. So keep that thing away. But I am hearer. Okay, I am hearer. That I refers to ahankara, where automatically there is an awareness of a time, awareness of a place, awareness of certain attributes, a hearing, etc. Anyway, so this is ahankara. I will call anubhuyamana experienced I, for one reason. That is, we will see that. Then there is another I which you refer, but you don't know. So, like you say, Swamiji, yesterday I went to that program, Arangetram program, and it was so good. I enjoyed. Okay, referring to the past. And that I, which is referred with the past, right? That I is also ahankara, enjoyer of the program, which is not there now. So that time, yesterday time, whatever, evening time, particular place, right, hall, etc., and you were just enjoyer, certain attributes. That's called smrita ahankara, smrita I, smrita aham, remembered, because you are telling me. So smrita, remembered. So one is a present ahankara. I am a hearer ahankara. It is present. I enjoyed yesterday program. That is a smrita I, ahankara. Because referring to a past time, that particular place, certain different attributes, along with that awareness. Okay? So that is past, ahankara. So the present experienced I is ahankara. Past remembered I also is ahankara. And these two ahankaras are different. Right now you are in this place, your home. Yesterday you went to a particular hall. Place is different. Time, of course, is different. This is today, that was yesterday. And right now you have an attribute of hearing, etc. There you have an attribute of enjoying that program, etc. So therefore, definitely, while both these are different in terms of time, place, and attributes, both the eyes are different, and therefore they are ahankara only. One is a anubhuyamana, which is in present. That was smrita ahankara of the past. Now suppose I say that I of the past, of yesterday, remembered, right? So that I of the past, that I alone is the I who is hearing your talk. The I which enjoyed the yesterday's program is the same I is hearing your talk at this moment. That's also your experience, right? It's not that you, the hearer, is different. So when you refer that, you are equating the ahankara of the past, smrita ahankara, you are equating with the of the past ahankara with the present ahankara, then you are saying what? Soham asmi. That I is this I. Okay? And that is called recognized I. Okay? It's a recognized I, which is equating the past I with the present I. It's called recognized I. And you understand very well, in a recognition there are two words. One is a remembered, one is a cognized, recognized. In every cognition, you are always equating. We are talking about right now ahankara atma viveka, etc., ahankara sakshi viveka, or a waker dreamer, etc., and turiya viveka. But in any recognition, you always equate the past with the present. And when I say, now I recognize you, suppose if I say, now I recognize you, what I mean that the past person that I saw a few years ago and the present person which is there right now in front of me, which I am experiencing now, that person is this person. If you say somebody, I recognize you now, means I connected that past you with the present you. Right? Right? The smrita person, smrita purushaha, and anubhuyamana purushaha, equated. That's called recognition. Soyam Devadatta Hari. Could you remember now? Soyam Devadatta. That Devadatta is this Devadatta, etc. So when you are equating this past and present, you can use the word recognition. If you are seeing, suppose if I see a person for the first time, I cannot say I recognized you. I can only say I cognize you. I am seeing you. I perceive you. So the recognition verb, etc., recognize verb, etc., is very important in Vedanta, because only through this verb the Sakshi is proved. Sakshi is proven by this pramana, pratyabhijna. But here there is a little problem. We have to solve that problem. Past ahankara, which I enjoyed, has a different attributes, different time, different place. Present ahankara, hearer, is a different place, different time, and different attributes. How can you equate? Ahankara can never be equated. These two can never be equated, because the desha, kala, and the vishesha, the attributes of both, are different. If they are same, you can equate. How, even though they are different, you can equate? To solve that problem, Vedanta says, well, whenever you recognize a present person in front of you, suppose you say, I recognize you now. When you say that, suppose an old friend of yours, definitely you are equating the old person and the present person by recognizing that, you say, classmate of the old days and the present day, who is in front of you, a person of the same person of the present day. In this equation, even though the attributes are different, naturally, you are classmates in a school or college, let's say, had different attributes, looks were different, maybe the skin tone, everything could be different, and appearance is quite different, body has undergone quite change, and now present person is, that way it is quite different. The friend's physical body, etc., including the complexion, the skin, and everything has undergone change due to old age, etc. So you claim when that person is this person, this claim is the result of your removing in your mind the differentiating attributes of both. When you remove the differentiating attribute of both persons, you will arrive, not physically, intellectually, when you remove it, both the past and present attributes are removed, you are recognizing a common factor between the old friend and the present person. You are able to recognize that the person is same, right? Even though the attributes are different, therefore it look that both the people are different, both the persons are different. But when you remove those attributes, that's the attributes of a, let's say, personality, you find that it is the same person. So whenever there is a recognition, the superficial differences are removed and the essential common factor, the person, is taken. And that is what is happening in a Soyam Devadatta. Very popular phrase we have. That Devadatta is this Devadatta. That old friend which was with me in a college is this old person now. So you pick up the person and remove the attributes, superficial attributes, incidental attributes, and get removed, and you find, yes, he's the same guy, same person. So Vedanta contends here that whenever you are equating your past ahankara and your present ahankara, sohamasmi, that yesterday which I enjoyed is the same I which is hearing right now. You are removing the time, place and the attributes from both the sides, and you are considering only the common factor between the past ahankara and present ahankara. And that changeless common factor is nothing but consciousness, because of which you become an enjoyer. When you enjoyed an event, means you definitely undergone an experience of that, and you have undergone experience which is never possible without consciousness. And right now you are hearing is a new experience right now, not miss a present experience you have. That is not possible without consciousness. That consciousness is the common factor without which even these two ahankaras would not have been there. The very experiencer, the enjoyer and the hearer cannot be possible without that consciousness. So when I say that I, the I which enjoyed yesterday's program is the same I is hearing, then that I is changeless Sakshi. So you say, Swamiji, I enjoyed this yesterday's program. You are talking to me in a present. You are seeing me and you are a talker. And you are saying, I only enjoyed yesterday's program. Or I enjoyed yesterday's program. You are definitely telling that that I is a changeless Sakshi. So only Sakshi remains unchanged. The recognized I is a Sakshi. The experienced I right now is ahankara. But why do you call that a hearer is a experience? Because you know, I can say, I know I am a hearer now. Right? Yeah. That I is a Sakshi. Or I know that I enjoyed yesterday. I know that I am a hearer now. That knower, ultimate knower, which is not a hearer, which is not an enjoyer. The enjoyer has gone, but still you know that. Anyway, so this smrita I and anubhuyamana I is ahankara, but the one who is present in both without any change, without which both the ahankaras are impossible. They could not exist. The enjoyer, the very truth of the enjoyer, the very content of the enjoyer is his consciousness. The content of the hearer is same consciousness. You don't bring another I. The same consciousness in whose presence, in fact, in the existence of the consciousness which is you, both exist. That was existed, this is also existing. And therefore, you are unchanging Sakshi. Pragaswap samiti prabodha samaye yaha pratyavijñāyate. Shankaracharya ji says, Prag aswapsam. I slept yesterday. Prabodh samaye yaha. When you wake up, you say, I only slept. That sleeper has gone. Ahankara has gone, which was present at a particular time, particular place, with attributes of ignorance, etc., not knowing anything, etc., or enjoying himself, etc. I enjoyed my sleep, etc. Whatever, certain attributes. That has gone. Now I am a waker at this time, this place, with attributes of seeing, hearing, etc. But I only slept. When you say Prabodha Samaye, well, you recollect, you recognize the same I which was there as a deep sleeper, right? That I is a witness to both. And therefore, well, definitely, Ahankara is not my attribute. It is just a superimposed for the sake of Vyavara. That's it. For dealing with this waking world, same consciousness definitely is, becomes a waker. Superimposition. And what is basically the content of anything is, well, you spend with me some time. I'm giving you one Nididhyasanam for this. So the content of anything, given thing, is called Satyam. Okay? And we have to prove now the consciousness is Satyam. Satyam is consciousness. Satyam Jnanam. Jnanam Satyam. Sat Chit. Chit Sat. Consciousness is invariable, unchanging. That is the content without which even both could not have existed. So the content of any given thing is called Satyam. First, I will start with the Nididhyasanam with a little, we are performing Nididhyasanam because I require another half an hour, but I'm just giving you certain points so you continue later. See, the content of any given thing basically is Satyam, like a gold of the ornament, like the water of the wave, or the cotton of the cloth, and the shirt, etc., the ornament, the wave, all is called Anrutam. The content is Satyam. Cotton is Satyam, gold is Satyam, water is Satyam, wave, etc. is Anrutam. And now, so that is Satyam. Keep it. Now Jnanam. Take it in a limited sense first. Knowledge, well, to know a given thing. Like it's called Jnana. I know a tree. We are just confining to a waking state. I know a tree. I know a pot. I know the moon. I know the sun. I know the space. I know the room. I know the cot. I know this body. Okay? So, when you say I know the tree, means tree is known. Pot is known. Moon known. Sun known. Room known. Cot known. Body known. I can go further, senses, etc. I am not going. So, pot known, tree known, etc., etc. means tree knowledge, pot knowledge, moon knowledge, sun knowledge, room knowledge, cot knowledge, body knowledge. Right? You say, I know body, nothing I have done. I know body, body known. I know tree, tree known. And then I am going further. So, pot knowledge, tree knowledge, moon knowledge, sun knowledge. Okay? Pot knowledge means knowledge plus tree, knowledge plus moon, knowledge plus the sun, knowledge plus the room, knowledge plus the cot, knowledge plus the body. What is plus is different. What is same is knowledge. Knowledge is same. Right? Knowledge plus tree, knowledge plus room, knowledge plus table, knowledge plus sun, knowledge plus space, knowledge plus body, etc. etc. Knowledge, 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 knowledge. Knowledge is same of the tree, of the pot, anything. So knowledge, knowledge, knowledge remains common. And there is no tree knowledge without knowledge. Okay, this common knowledge is present in all. In a tree knowledge also knowledge is there. In a pot knowledge is there. In a sun knowledge is there. In a space knowledge is there. And therefore, there is no tree knowledge without knowledge. There is no pot knowledge without knowledge. There is no sun knowledge without knowledge. There is no cot knowledge without knowledge. There is no body knowledge without knowledge. And therefore, tree exists in knowledge. Tree exists in knowledge. Therefore, I am knowledge essentially and not the knower. Knower varies. Knower goes away. But that knowledge never goes away. Tree exists in knowledge. Well, and any other thing. Sun exists in my knowledge. Room exists in my knowledge. Pot exists in my knowledge. Body exists in my knowledge. You can go. My hunger, thirst exists in my knowledge. My memory exists in my knowledge. Right? It's your own experience. Your emotions exist in your knowledge. Your doubts exist in your knowledge. Your all various perceptions exist in your knowledge. Your senses exist in knowledge. Everything. And therefore, I am knowledge, 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 knowledge. All the time knowledge. With reference to a known thing, that knowledge becomes a knower. Please do this way. So, because these two knowers had to be, distinguished. One is a changing knower. Other is a changeless knower. In fact, that is knowledge consciousness. Anyway, so with reference to a known thing, I become the knower. The knower is knowledge, of course. Known also is a knowledge. Right? You say, I see Swami. Swami is the object of knowledge. Known by the same knowledge, consciousness. Knower also is known to you. Same knowledge, consciousness. The very thought of the Swami is there in your head. Is also known to you. Is also knowledge. All the Triputi. So I am knowledge. And so, knowledge of the tree. Now knowledge of the tree, knowledge of the cot, etc. From there, turn your attention to this knowledge, which is common in all. In which even tree exists, this exists, etc. So that is knowledge of the tree. That knowledge, when you turn attention to this knowledge, well, that is nothing but consciousness, awareness. So awareness of the tree, awareness of the moon, awareness of the pot. In between the awareness of the tree and awareness of the moon, there is awareness. Right? So, awareness is between the objects of knowledge, tree, pot, moon, etc. Between all of them also awareness is. When pot knowledge, etc. is there, awareness is. Means pot awareness is. So, awareness is something, well, all objects of pot go away. Objects of knowledge go away. So in all of them awareness is. All they are gone, awareness is. So I am basically awareness, which is not divided at all by the presence of objects in that knowledge, in the awareness. So awareness which is not divided at all, it remains the same. And so undivided awareness is I, undivided, no boundaries, limitless awareness, consciousness, I am, which is witness to all triads. Witness to knower, witness to a known object, witness to the very object thought. It is just a witness without undergoing any change. So this is how you should have a meditation. There are several meditations. I am not able to, guide here right now, but this is how you can do it. That's what Bhashyakara said. Gnaswarupe avisheshe. Gnaswarupa is a sadharana. That is this knowledge, which is present in waker consciousness, dreamer consciousness, deep sleeper consciousness, in between consciousness, etc., etc., Ishvara consciousness. That consciousness is common, the knowledge is common, in which everything exists. What exists undergoes a change, keeps coming and going, mithya, but the one which lends existence to everything, which is the content of everything, like the ornament. But Swamiji, you were saying Satyam. That's a content. So who provides an existence to ornament? Gold. That's a content. That is Satyam. Same way consciousness is the content of everything, lends existence to everything. Therefore, Jnanam is Satyam. Or Chit is Sat. That's what you are. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.